While the general placement of clips is important to a sequence, it's the way each video cuts from one clip to the next that's crucial to the flow of the storyline. In Media Composer and Avid Symphony, you use trim tools to fine-tune the edit points between clips. Here we have an interview clip that needs to be tightened for the trailer.
I saw a young boy in the desert alone, fending for himself while his dad was...
We'll add a custom cutaway shot later to cover our edits. There's a section here where the talent repeats himself. We'll use the extract tool from the previous video on editing segments to remove it.
Dad was a 2 days walk away.
A nice tool when setting up edit points is audio scrubbing. Press caps lock on the keyboard to enable. You'll now hear audio as you drag the position indicator. For now, let's mute the soundtrack audio tracks to concentrate on the voice.
Fending for himself while his dad was...
Set the in and out points. Make sure that V1, A1, and A2 track selectors are enabled, and click Extract. If you listen back, you'll hear that the edits don't flow as smoothly as they could.
Fending for himself while his dad was a 2 days walk away to get water.
It's time to use the trim tools. The two main trim tools, Override Trim and Ripple Trim, form part of the Smart tool. Watch the video on editing segments for more information. Select the Override Trim and Ripple Trim in the Smart tool. Now as your cursor hovers over a transition point, you'll actually see several different cursor icons depending on where the cursor is positioned. Now, it may seem like a lot, but it's actually quite straightforward. Just like the segment mode Smart tools, the tools change based on your position over the clip. When your cursor is over the top half of the clip, you're using the red Overwrite Trim tool. When your cursor is over the lower half of the clips, the yellow Ripple Trim tool engages instead. The trim tools can be used to trim the clips on either side of the edit point, and the direction of the icon reflects that. The clip before the edit point is called the A-side clip, and the clip after the edit point is called the B-side clip. You'll want to make sure that your video and audio tracks are selected in the track selectors to keep the sound in sync with the picture. Let's start with the Ripple Trim tool. Our first edit is a little too quick. We want to add some more A-side to make the phrasing more even.
I saw a young boy in the desert.
Position the cursor at the lower left edge of the transition point. Dragging to the right will extend the length of the A-side clip, rippling the rest of the sequence down the timeline to make room.
A young boy in the desert alone.
The same holds true if you adjust the B-side clip. Now there's a slight jump in audio between the clips, and we'll learn how to add an audio dissolve to smooth it over in a later video.
I saw a young boy in the desert alone.
Let's go to our later edit and do the reverse. Ripple trim away a few frames to remove the hesitation in the voice.
For himself while his dad was a 2 days walk. For himself while his dad was a 2 days walk away to get water.
Now trimming is perfect when you want to adjust the pace of your video to help the dialogue to flow more naturally from take to take. It's not so great if you already have picture lock and you just want to give one of the clips a little more screen time. In film and video work, picture lock means that the overall timing of the sequence has been decided on, and any significant adjustments will cause production problems.
It is the most unforgiving place on earth.
So, when you want to keep the overall timing of your sequence locked, use an Overwrite Trim. Here, we want to give more time to the A-side clip, so position the cursor at the top left edge of the transition point and drag right. The A-side clip is extended, but when you release the mouse, nothing else in the timeline changes. The A-side clip overwrites the start of the B-side clip.
It is the most unforgiving place on earth. Over 3.5 million.
If you adjust in the other direction, in this case dragging left, the out point of the clip changes, but Media Composer adds filler to the gap created.
It is the most unforgiving place on earth.
While that's great if you plan to replace the filler with a different clip, it may not be what you had in mind. Instead, if you want to slide the whole transition point without changing the overall timing of the sequence, use the Dual Roller Trim tool. Let's undo that last edit. Dual roller trim is available when you position your cursor at the center of the transition point. In this mode, one side of the transition is trimmed while the other side is extended. The result is that the transition point is shifted up or down the timeline, but the timing of both clips and the clips surrounding them will remain the same. Sometimes you'll want to lead into a clip by playing its audio before you see the video. Let's click back to the start of the Taiwan interview clip.
Variations on the route. It's a mental thing, I think.
By making sure the record audio track selectors are disabled, you can use the dual roller trim to shift the video transition point without affecting the audio edit. This gives a nice natural lead-in of the audio before the video.
I mean, there could be variations on the route. It's a mental thing, I think.
Let's wrap up by editing some footage in to cover our interview edits. Set an in and out point in the timeline. Double-click the Boy in Desert clip in the bin and set an in point. Now, we only want to edit in video, so make sure your audio record track selectors are disabled and click Overwrite. Take a bit of time to experiment with Overwrite and Ripple Trim. They'll make a lot more sense once you've used them a few times. And that's it for the basic editing tools. In the next video, we'll take a look at taming the audio in your project.